Hey everybody, I'm Meg and this is the LovenStamps catalog premiere party. So I am excited to show you guys some really fun projects tonight. So we're gonna stamp a little, we're gonna look through the catalog a little, we're going to look at a ton of card ideas. I think I counted there's like 40 cards in this basket that we're gonna flip through. It's a really fun evening because I'm sure you guys are aware by now that the new book started today. So really fun, new in colors, new all the good things to go along with them. And so it's really fun that we get together this evening and kind of talk about those possibilities. So, hey Nancy, yeah, make sure you guys say hello if you're on. It's just always fun to kind of see who all's here and where in the country you're from. So make sure you pop on and say where you're watching from. So I know it's a little later for some people, a little earlier for others. Sometimes we catch people on the other side of the globe and it's way different times for them. But I am really happy to see you guys tonight. So, hey Tanya. And Deborah and Lois and Petra and Carol and Nancy and Debbie and everybody who's jumping on whose names I can't see and so forth, Sharon. Everybody, yay, happy to see you guys. So we are going to start off, I think, with some stamping. What do you guys think about that? And I do have a number of announcements to share with you tonight, so I'll kind of intersperse them as we go along and work on those. So I'm going to flip on, I realized, my studio lights here. That might help just a little wee bit, especially when we start stamping. So, all right, it's still probably bright out where you are, Kelly, right? Hey, Becky. So I wore my bright shirt because we are going with bright colors today. And actually, I think it's a pretty awesome, here, wait, come back up for a second. Sorry, I don't mean to make you seasick. I think that the shirt is kind of a fun, awesome match for the in colors. What do you guys think? Here they all are. The new in color, it's pretty close, right? Not exactly the same, but not too far off either. Anyway, these are all the new in colors. So we'll talk about them as we go along and how you can get them for free. So everybody likes free stamps, right? Free ink, free cardstock, and so forth. So I'm going to kind of preview these two projects that we have here. These are the card kits that you would have gotten in the mail with your catalog if you're one of my stampers. And so I wanted to kind of run through these with you to show you what you would do with these cards. And if you don't have one of these kits, it's no big deal. You can use the ideas to do things that you would like and sort of recreate them. So lots of good ideas here. But let's go ahead and start with this one. These pieces of paper are from the Tea Party, the Cup of Tea Suite. And since we're looking, see, now we can open the catalog and look at it. Okay, look at all the Post-it notes for the things I have to share with you guys. So the Tea Boutique Suite is absolutely gorgeous and includes the Designer Series paper as well as these kind of fun tea notes and envelopes and so forth. So let's see. So here they are, also featuring in colors, printed envelopes, and then these printed card bases like this, okay? And the Designer Series paper, I have a couple packages because I've gone through so much of it already. Here are just some of the patterns. Some of them have teapots, florals, sort of neutrally patterns on the back sides. There's some gingham, some little treats there, and then more of the paper choices, some cups there, lemons, limes, all the good things. So lots of good possibilities with this, which reminds me, I'll show you some paper share information. Today is the last day to sign up for the LovenStamps paper share if you were thinking about that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use the stamps and the dies to make our card here. And so I've got my card base set out, and card base is one of the new in colors. So here we go. And I have to say, this is the darker of the two new purpley blues. This is Starry Sky, and it is beautiful. So, oh good, glad you guys like this shirt. So Starry Sky is my preferred color. I wouldn't have guessed it, but based on how many packages of cardstock I've used already, the Starry Sky and then Orchid Oasis are my two favorites. So I always am surprised when I turn out to be a purple person because I don't really think of myself as like a huge purple fan, but who knows? That it is what it is. So, all right, so we're gonna turn our cardstock this way. And then I love using this little strippy technique to go ahead and add some strips on our card here so that we have just a nice basis for our stamping. And I'm gonna bring in our stamp set. So this is Cup of Tea, and it's coordinating dies here. So we're gonna go ahead and use this teacup here, and I'm gonna stamp our teacup in the lighter of the two new in colors. So this is Orchid Oasis. And if you are thinking about getting these new in colors, I hope that you have seen my notes about getting the 5 ink pads for free. So the Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet are all included in the in color starter kit. And that starter kit is basically, you get an extra 5 ink pads, the pack of in color cardstock, a pack, not cut up, but a whole pack of the in color designer series paper, and then some in color grid paper. It's about $66.50 worth of extra free product, and it's a great way to add those things to your collection. So that demonstrator starter kit, there's a link in the video description if you want to learn more about that. But it is a great way to add these in colors. And if otherwise, you can order them as a set of 5 ink pads. So we have our die there. And then we want to have a little tea bag here on the end of our rope, I guess. So I'm gonna bring in Starry Sky, which is gonna bring in our darker color. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp our tag. And then I'm gonna stamp the words. And there are lots of little tiny words that fit in this tag here. This is a really nicely planned out stamp set, but I'm just gonna stamp Enjoy on there, which means we can use this card for lots of occasions. And then I want to give it a little bit of extra interest. And there's florals in here, all kinds of fun things. But this one here with the lime slice is kind of one of my favorites. And it's gonna give us a chance to add a punch of crushed curry to our card. So I'm gonna pull this in here and go ahead and stamp. Now, I'm gonna stamp it off the edge, and you're gonna go, but like, it doesn't match. That's okay, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna die cut that next. And when we die cut it, we're going to chop off all the parts on the edge that we can't see. And so no one will know that we just kind of stamped that on there in a big way. So through the magic of television, I have, of course, those parts already die cut for you guys. All right. Hey, Jan. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, afternoon for some of you guys, all you West Coast people. And then all you East Coast people, it's actually kind of late. Usually you're kind of mid-morning here when we get together. All right, so putting these things together, I'm just gonna show you really briefly my favorite way to attach these pieces. I am going to go ahead and poke a hole, and I'm gonna use the pokey end of the Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch into my cardstock there. There we go. And make just a little circle hole, okay? So then I can pop my baker's twine, and the new baker's twine comes in a pack of 5, and it has one little thread that one of the things matches each of the in colors. So now to attach this, all I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna try and tie a knot or mess with it or anything. All I'm gonna do is just drop a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of that. Okay, and then I haven't placed it yet, but I'm gonna flip this around to the back end, and I'm going to place another Stampin' Dimensional on the back here. So now I have a teacup with a cute little tag hanging out of it for the little tea bag. Feels like that should be a shaker card. You could certainly leave it loose. I am gonna attach it, but you kind of get the idea. Now I could just pop this on here like this, but you see this extra piece hanging here, and you know if you watch Maker Mornings with Meg that I always want everything to have a home base to sit on. I don't want it to just float there. So watch what happens when we're gonna pop this strip of coordinating cardstock on there and just give it a little bit of a home base for our cup to sit on. It's almost like it's sitting on a cute shelf, like the trend with no cabinet doors, right? I don't know, does anybody have no cabinet doors in their house? My cabinets are stuffed with things. It would not be pretty, but I'm super impressed with people who can make it work. Hey, Deanna. Hey, Kathy. All right, so there is our first card. Here is an opposite version of it. So instead of using the Starry Sky as a card base, I used the Starry Sky as the accent, and then used the Orchid Oasis here. So these two colors, use the Orchid Oasis as the card base, okay? So kind of a fun idea and a neat way to do sort of mix and match the papers, okay? So you can see I've used different papers for these also. All right, so if you have that card kit to be making, that will get you started as far as making your teacup kit, okay? All right, so let me get cleaned up. Usually when we do Maker Mornings with Meg, I don't have to clean anything up. I just keep sort of continuing to make more mess, but let's see. We'll not make it totally worse here. Okay, so I'm gonna get that out of the way and go on to more cards. You guys ready to see some more card samples? So since I have Cup of Tea out, let's go ahead and continue with that. And I am going to show you some Cup of Tea samples. So these cards are from demonstrator card swaps that I do, which is just one of the fabulous perks of being a demonstrator, the chance to trade cards and so forth. So remember the in-color kit here with the cards, or the stamps, the ink, the cardstock, the paper. If you're interested in that starter kit, this is a great way to go. So here is a fabulous card made by Stella McKay. And I love the way Stella made this card. She used strips of designer series paper also. And then you can kind of see that same sort of trick that we used with our cup card and that little tag there. And it says, "I just can't thank you enough." So really cute and pretty colors. This next card here is by Susan Elise Morton. And I really like what she did too. Now she wanted this to look like porcelain. So I've taken it out of its cute card protector. And so what she did was she just coated the whole top of this in clear embossing powder, which means that the whole cup looks like porcelain. Isn't that pretty? And then those plants can grow out of the top, and then you can add the little florals to it. So there's the flowers and the stems are separate so that you can stamp them in different colors. I always love when they did that. And you can see the highlights of the new in colors. I have one more in-color card. This is by the fabulous Mary Ellen Stites, who is one of our LovenStamps demonstrators. And she used those strips again and the hearts here. The hearts are included here in the die cuts. So this is really an outstanding set of dies. Not only do you get greenery and the cups and the teacups and the lime lemon slice, you also get sets of hearts, sets of leaves, sets of flowers. This is just an outstanding set, whether you're going to use the teacups or not. So I really love it when something is a lot more flexible than it even at first appears. So, and a great way to use those strippy cards. Now, if you're thinking that these bright colors don't match your tea, are not your cup of tea. Haha, you see what I did there? That was terrible. The card that I'm going to show you next is a different color scheme. This is by Pat Jenkins, and she used those same florals there that were used here on this card by Susan Elise, but she went ahead and did them in darker colors, and then she used some of that designer paper, the specialty paper, to add those pretty accents to it. And again, that little teacup thing. So remember that trick that I showed you for attaching those teacups at the beginning, just using those Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay. All right. So that was our tea suite. And let's see, let's keep going a little bit more through the catalog so you can see all the fun things that I have planned to show you. The next one that I wanted to show you was the Sending Smiles bundle. And it is a really terrific one too. It includes these florals and this big scripty word. So that you can sending, and then all the different things that you can go with it. Sending a note of thanks, sending birthday wishes, sending a card to say hello, sending comfort and strength. Really, you can send pretty much anything, which is why this was such a popular one in our demonstrator swapping. And so I have a card here by Faye Caldwell and Liz Orr, and they used the stamp here. And so instead of die cutting the stamp directly, they went ahead and used the scalped contours dies to cut that cute rectangle. And going on the same color trend, this card is by Ramona Simpson. And she used similar colors here. So again, lots of Orchid Oasis. It's everyone's favorite. And this designer series paper, which remember is one of the things that you get for free in the in color starter kit. So lots of those pretty colors here in the background too. So instead of die cutting, she went ahead and stamped those in the background. So don't feel like just because something has a die, you always have to die cut it. You don't. All right, next card is by Tammy Ackerson. And it is a combination here. I love how she stamped inside. A combination because it uses the Sun Prints Designer Series paper. And we're going to get to this a little bit later. So I'm going to show you that. But she had this as a nice match here with a floral there. And again, great minds think alike here with scalloped contours. Now this card shows off, it's by Margaret Van Vliet. And it shows off that scripty word. So there's actually 2 dies in the set. There's the little tiny one in the top and then the background one. So you can kind of see both of those dies at use there with the glimmer paper from the In Color set. And then a card by Laura Bartow where she, instead of stamping the greenery, went ahead and used the dies and just cut that as a shape, a sort of a stem silhouette, and then the die cut flowers and the words. So you can stamp the words or you can double die cut the words. So lots of possibilities. And then finally, a card by Faith Steinberg, where you know I love using little strippies of things. Faith got all of those 5 in colors in there, and a great way to show those off. Okay. All right. So since we're on a floral kick, you guys want to see some more floral cards? I know you do. All right. So we're going to go just a teeny bit further, one more page in the book. And I have a card to share using the Bottled Happiness stamp set. So this is one of mine. And decorated the inside also. You know, we always want to decorate the inside of our cards. But this is kind of a fun card layout and really simple. Let's see. Hey, Shirley. Hi, Lynn. Hey, Connie. I love when you guys say where you're watching from. It's just kind of fun to picture us all like dotted all over the place. So, all right. So this is a really fun and easy card layout. It's basically just a card where I cut off the portion of the Tahitian tide at the bottom. So this again is an in color card feature with the Orchid Oasis, the Tahitian tide, and the Starry Sky here. So you can see all of them. And the green here. So Parakeet Party. So all of these colors on here. And then this this bottle here is actually punched from the Designer Series paper, this stuff right here. So think about using this to stamp on and not just always stamping on a neutral or a plain cardstock. But that is a really fun one. And these images are really fun to line up and give you some really pretty variety and so forth there. Okay, so I have one more card to share with this one. This is a card by Evie Di Piazza. And she used markers instead of stamping and inking like I did. She used markers to color in the different parts of the stamps and then go ahead and stamp them so you can get even more colors. And you can see the solid bottle stamp here. So there are a lot of choices on different ways to use this, which is always fun. So sending a little message, get it? All right. Okay, let's see. I'll show you a couple more cards. This one right here goes along with our theme. This is by Brandy Bernard. And you can see those cute little lemon wedges there. So those are our same lemon wedges that we made with our crushed curry for our teacup card. So this guy right here, remember we used those. So this is a great image. I love the giant greetings that go with this that just make the words the big message. So sending sunshine and good feelings your way really is a card sentiment that you could always use. So the next one is one of my personal favorites. You'll probably see a lot of this one from me, and it's Sweet Songbirds. So here is my one of my swap cards. So this is the one that I created for the swap to send out to people, and I used a little bit different cardstock color than a lot of us are doing right now because we're all focused on these guys. So I wanted to use something different. The Designer Series paper here in the background is actually from the back of the catalog on page 179. And I wanted to show this to you because it's the Design a Daydream 12 by 12 paper. And, oh, sorry, let me make sure you can see all of it. There you go. I wanted to make sure I showed this to you because a lot of times we all have big orders right at the beginning of the catalog. And so this is one of the things that you can get as a host exclusive item or Stampin Rewards. And Stampin Rewards are what you get when you place an order or host a party that totals at least $150, okay? So here's our little, let me get it all in there at the same time. Here's our little total. So if you have a $150 order, you get an extra 10% bonus at the end for free. And you can use that on anything from the catalog, or that 10% can be spent on these exclusive items, which is going to include, say, Sit, Stay, Relax, which I'm going to show you in a bit. But this paper right here is very pretty, and I used it for this 3x4 card background here on Sweet Songbirds. Okay, so more Sweet Songbirds ideas. Here is another pretty card. This is by Jen Coe, and she went ahead and used that same bird and the little nest there. I have a pretty card here by Julie Davison, a really nice in color feature also. And I love these little music notes on there. So anytime you want to pull out a pun and you need some kind of music note things, those are a great way to go. This is a card by Mel Lampert, and she stamped the little feet on the little birds instead of having it sit in the nest. But the glimmer paper here is the in-color glimmer paper, and she punched the bird out twice, once from Tahitian Tide cardstock and once from the glimmer paper. And then she switched because the wings and stuff are all on the same die. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed things up here. We're gonna be looking at cards all night long. Phyllis said, thanks for pointing out the host paper. I know it's so easy to overlook. I just don't want you guys to miss anything, especially when you have the whole year now coming up. This card's by Dawn Olszewski, and again, a really cute way to use the bird. She stamped the bird and just used the little wing there as the wing of the bird. So, all right. Okay, so Songbird, some very fun and cute little card ideas. And that brings us to, okay, I'm gonna pause there. All right, that's gonna bring us to He's the Man. All right, so now this project that I have to share with you is, so it made me look at this whole stamp and die set very differently. So when I first saw this, I thought like, I saw the suite, right? The suite is fabulous, by the way. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. The suite's fabulous. I really love the designer series paper. I love the stamps and I love the dies. And I didn't realize how flexible this was until I got it out to start using it. So we're gonna actually use this instead of with that like kind of guide stuff there, we're gonna use it with this spiral die stamp. Okay, now this one's not brand new. It's been out for a while and I'm so thankful because shocker of shockers, I'm a huge tie-dye fan. If you ever have any questions about tie-dye, I'm your girl. I really love tie-dye. I've done a lot of it. But this right here, this Together for the Long Haul stamp, is super darling, and it has this, oh, it's easier to see here, has this great van on it with a surfboard and stuff, and I just thought that screamed for the spiral die. What do you guys think? Isn't that like the perfect combination? So we're gonna do a card now that makes the most of those things together. Surprise, we're doing in colors. So I know that's not a surprise actually. But I'm gonna pull, I think I have two of these cut here. I'm gonna pull this, and then like I said, Starry Sky is my fave. So we're gonna use Starry Sky as our card base, and I can't fold it upside down. Sometimes I get questions from people like, how do you stamp upside down? Lots of practice, but I can't fold cardstock upside down. All right, so I have my layer here. Rather than stamping on white, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp on this. Now, when I use a really large stamp like this, I really prefer to use my Stamparatus. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this. I'm gonna show you, there's a couple of different samples that I've done with this die in the past. So this is done by, you stamp once and then you ink it in another color and turn it and stamp it again. So, but this is my tip for you. When you have a stamp this big, you do not always want to stick it to the stamp case. I find that the best thing to do is just save this paper here that came with the stamp and just put it back on there each time. It's so much easier to get the stamp out. If you stick it down in the case, then you have to really work to pry it out of there each time. So I love my Stamparatus for doing stamping with stamps this large, okay? So I just set my stamp down and then pick it up with a hinge And then I have that ready to go. Now, for colors, we are gonna stamp color on color. So I've got Tahitian Tide. We're gonna stamp on Tahitian Tide cardstock. And so I'm gonna go ahead and ink this up. There we go. All right. I love new ink pads. They're so juicy. Don't forget to order your reinkers though when you get these, just so you'll have them. You don't have to panic later. Now, the easiest thing to do to figure out where this is gonna stamp so that I get a nice placement is to just go ahead and pre-stamp it once on my scrap paper, okay? You can cut yourself a piece of grid paper to go in there, and then I want the, let's see, I want it to be a little low and off center. So I want it to be there. Now I am going to ink this up again so that I get a really great image. But now I know that my whole cardstock will be inked. The image will fit. It'll be placed where I want it on my page. And I can just go ahead and set this up here. So I'm just gonna push this down and open it up again. And now we have our fun tie-dye background, okay? All right, now I do want to use my Stamparatus again, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm gonna do that. But in the meantime, let me just go ahead and wipe this off. Now I find with red rubber stamps, the ones that are labeled cling in the catalog, I often find myself pressing my chamois down on them rather than like wiping so much, because it's like the ink magnet. It just picks up all that ink. Okay, so now I can put this back in the stamp case, and you guys remembered I just told you that I saved this little backing here, so now I can pop that back in there. Okay, so we've got our spiral die here ready to go, and this is gonna layer on our cardstock here. But in order to get a really nice contrast there between the two, I am going to pop in this piece of basic white, okay? You see how nice that is with, it just really sets off the colors on there, okay? And then I want to make a little medallion with Together for the Long Haul. So if you were gonna do just one card, of course, I would stamp that on basic white cardstock, but I'm gonna show you a tip for doing like a lot of cards. If you were making a whole bunch of these for something fun, like a family reunion, or I don't know, trying to think of things you would want a lot of long haul cards for. The start of a big project at work, who knows? So what I want to do in that case is, say I have a stack of medallions already cut, and this is where I started to look at this stamp set for lots of different things other than just like sort of those man cards. I started to look at the shapes that are included in the die set. There are some great ones here, including this scalloped sort of medallion-y card die. There's an oval. These are all, I don't know how well you can see it on the video. They're all embossed as well as die cut. So say I hold a whole bunch of these and I wanted to stamp them. Here is what I would do. I would go ahead and pop this on here and pick it up with my hinge, right? Because that's going to give us our easiest placement. Okay, and then I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to do my test stamp here to see where this goes. And it goes right there in the middle. Now, how to line this up? I can't see through here to line it up, right? So that's not going to work very well. So what I like to do in that case is I like to make myself a mask. So I have just die cut a big hole in the center of this, and then I'm going to take a pen or a Sharpie or something handy, and I'm going to draw a circle around the inside here. And this is going to help me place, okay? So now my circle says where you want to stamp, it's right in the middle of that circle. So now I can take my circle, pop it right in the middle of that red circle, ink up my stamp again, and then pop this on over and stamp on our die cut. See how that works? Ta-da! So then if I wanted to do another one, I could stamp this here. So you can see that this is a whole lot faster than it would be to die cut everyone separately, okay? To stamp them and then die cut them exactly. All right, it's kind of hard to stop now. It's like potato chips. You can't eat just one. You can't stamp just one. So I don't know when the last time you got your Stamparatus out was, but hopefully this will inspire you to try it. And if you don't have a Stamparatus yet, The link is in the video tutorial for the supplies that I'm using on this card, as well as the other cards I'm showing you. So you can check those out and go ahead and add some fun new things to your collection. So, all right, I have some designer or some glimmer paper here that we're going to use next. Let's get this out of the way. Otherwise, I'll be tempted to just sit here and keep stamping circles. All right, so back to our project. We're going to go ahead and pop this on. Oops, wrong adhesive. There we go. I don't know what that was. I'm just teasing. I had some old adhesive that I was trying to use up, so I had that out recently. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this and pop some Stampin' Dimensionals here on the back, and I know I usually don't use very many, but I kind of like 4 on here. Yay, I'm glad you guys liked the tip. Yeah, it is a great one. So, all right, so now we have our long haul to go right there. Isn't that perfect with the tie-dye? But we're not done yet. So I've got my Tahitian Tide Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm gonna go ahead and color our van here. I'm gonna color just, not the windows. I'm just gonna color the door parts, the line at the top. I'm not gonna worry too much about shading it. It's pretty long, a pretty small image, so I'm just gonna give it some quick color. There we go. All right, so now we've got some quick color. Of course, the Stampin' Blends come in all the in colors. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put them on my supply list. And that's gonna go on here, but I thought that we needed one more thing. And so I am gonna grab these cute little dies here. Now, I cut banner tails on things all the time. You guys probably noticed that. And so if you are the person who's like, stop cutting those, Meg, I hate cutting them, they never end up straight, then this is clearly the die set that you're gonna wanna get, because it includes several, both curved dies and straight dies. And I'm just gonna drop this on over here. So this is a great chance to add some of those sort of basic shapes to your collection, and then some sort of not so basic shapes. So. All right, so here are our die cut pieces there. And then we're just gonna pop these on here, kind of like a little medallion. I love this, it's like a little metal thing here, like on a cute, well, whatever you'd put a metal on, I guess. So I'm gonna pop these on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, which is gonna hold them in place so I don't have to worry about gluing them. And then I can put those there on our card. Okay, so there we have that. Now we need some little bit of bling on here. So I've got these polished dots, and the polished dots are part of the Hues of Happiness suite, which, sneak peek, okay, I'll come back to that. Hues of Happiness. So they're just really nice, pretty bright colors, and they go beautifully here with this little seal of approval kind of card here, okay? So I've just got some of the blue ones from that set there. They're also, those embellishments are included in the embellishment share that goes with the designer series paper share that I'm showing. So I promise I will give you many more ideas for using this stamp set and this die set, along with the designer series paper from the suite, because these are going to be my features for May tutorials, the ones that you get for free when you place any size order from me. If you are not ordering from me, you can get the tutorials also. You can purchase them from my Etsy store at LovenStamps Card Mart on Etsy, and those tutorials are there for you to purchase too, or these will be there later this month, but past tutorials are there. So, all right, you guys want to see some more cards with this stamp set? I have several. So these are not the cards that I'm going to be showing you. These cards are ones that were created by other demonstrators for swaps. So this one is by Mary McNeely, and you can see that she's used the designer series paper from the set and then those cute little banners. This is a fun card by Joyce Fracco. She used just a little bit different layout there for that one. And you can see another example of those great shaped dies that I've been telling you about. This one's by April Lopez, and she used the Hello Handsome, here we go, Hello Handsome stamp from here, and then some of the designer series paper, so kind of a fun one there. And then finally card by Kathy, And this one uses that medallion or the compass rose there for every day with you is another adventure. So I've got a lot more samples and ideas that I'm going to share with you during Maker Mornings with Meg, including one tomorrow morning, a pop-up box card that I promise you're going to love. So make sure you watch Maker Mornings with Meg tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. here on LovenStamps channel on Facebook. Okay. So those are our long haul cards. So let's go back and look at some more of those 40 samples that I have to share with you. We'll be here for 40 days and 40 nights otherwise. The next one I have is this Brewed for You stamp. And this card is, I don't know who by, because they didn't put their name in it, but it's Darling. Oh, ale, yes. Another round for your birthday. So I was thinking about this, and if you wanted to share this kind of card with somebody who maybe wasn't a big beer drinker, root beer, of course, also could work. Kind of a fun one. And I really, it's a fun die. And then, or fun set. This one's by Cindy Malone. And I just realized I need to take some cards out of plastic for you guys. So here is this one, which uses sort of those steins there. And I don't know if you can tell, but these are actually a second die cut here that puts the foam and stuff over the top. And so it just makes it perfect with the glass every time with the layering. It's really cute. And then the brick folder in the background, like, oh my gosh, how perfect is that? The wood and the brick, just awesome. So, all right, great cards. The next ones are from the Wild and Sweet stamp set. And this set is a great detail stamp set, just really pretty, but I have two different choices for you on how to use it. One of them, which requires some coloring to make it all come together, and one which requires no coloring whatsoever. So if you looked at this previously and you're like, I do not like to color detailed things like that, then this card by Janice Waitman is a great idea for you. It's just black and white. This is the fern folder, which we will see coming up with sun prints. And then this really sweet panda in the middle. And then here's a colored version. So this is by Margot Richardson. And I love the way she's got her colors matched. So the Stampin' Blends markers and the cardstock just perfect together. And she used the ferns folder too. So this is a little piece of vellum cardstock, and you can see that she inked and embossed. So she got an image on there, both with ink and the embossing. So really cool idea. All right. Next is Sun Prints. Okay, so here's one of my asides. So Sun Prints is a super gorgeous suite. It has this beautiful paper, and if you're looking through the catalog and you're thinking, I want so much designer series paper, but if I buy all the packages, it's going to be like $150. The nice thing that you can do is you can sign up for my LovenStamps cards or designer series paper share, which includes a thing that will make your life easier. So it includes, of course, 6x6 pieces of all of the designer series papers that are in this catalog. So this is Sun Prints. You can see how absolutely gorgeous it is. And then the backs of them with sort of the little minor detail patterns. But the thing that it also includes that's so fabulous, because I get comments from people all the time like, Meg, I have so much designer series paper, I don't use it very often. I never have the cardstock I want. So to make that easy, I just include the cardstock with the share, okay? So when you get your share, it comes packaged. Each one is in its own little plastic envelope with a name and stuff on it. It says what the cardstock colors are, so you know what these colors are. And then you get the papers and the card bases. So if you were gonna make a card with this, you would fold this in half. You could just cut this down to 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall, and you would have a perfect card base ready to go. So you can rest assured that you will use your cardstock or use your card designer series papers on your cards because they come together like this. So that's just one of the 12 colors, 12 patterns that's included in the swap. Today's last day to sign up. Link is in the video description, so don't wait because I'm going to send invoices as soon as our video is finished, and I don't want you to miss out. So you're gonna jump over there. You can do it while I'm finishing showing the cards even, and sign up for that so you can get your invoice tonight. All right, so cards. This is by the fabulous Betsy Kreider, and this paper actually is the penciled paper, perfectly penciled, and show that one to you when we get there, but it's all black and white. And what she did was combine it with a gorgeous stamp. I love the fonts in this Nature's Prints set. And she combined it with this beautiful one and this die set that I promised you was going to be my absolute new favorite. Remember this one? This is called, now that you can get it, Stylish Shaped Dies. It's going to be a staple. I predict that it will be my most used die set from this catalog. So Betsy used it too. She also loves it. And she just colored the background of this black and white paper with a Stampin' Blend marker, which gives you really beautiful results. And she covered it with Wink of Stella then. I'm not sure if you guys can see how shimmery that is. Can you see the shimmer? Okay, well, rest assured that it is super shimmery and really pretty. So that is one idea. Here's another card by Jennifer Cotton. And this is also one of the card layouts that I love a lot. So she used the same stamps here and some sort of splotchy background, which is a really pretty element to add to a set. This card is by Linda Bowen, and she used the embossing folder that goes with this, the Ferns embossing folder, and yeah, the Fern 3D embossing folder is included in the Suite collection if you went ahead and ordered the Suite collection here. So she used that, so she embossed, and then I think she did a direct to stamp. She just dragged her ink pad across there, and it's my favorite, Starry Sky right there. Oh, that's Orchid Oasis. Where's Starry Sky? It's my favorite. I've lost it already. Oh, there it goes. Starry Sky. There we go. All right. And Julie asked, can I show ink embossed vellum in a future video? Absolutely. We definitely will do that. Good call. Hi, Cindy. Okay. Sue says, surprise, wild and sweet, had no greetings. Yeah, sometimes there's a stamp set that just comes through like that with no words. I think, so if you want my real like feeling on that, I think that sometimes they do it because then they don't have to come out with a stamp set twice or 4 times or 5 times, however many languages we're doing now. So there are lots of lots of greetings that come from other sets that can be put together with that. So yeah. All right. This is by Denise Jorgensen. So she didn't go with the blues, but she used the same kind of pieces there. Here is a great card by Julie Davison. I love this clean layout. And she embossed the white on here, which makes it very much like the Sun Prints paper. So, and if you haven't, I don't know if you guys remember maybe when you were kids or at a craft camp or something, we used the photo Sun Prints paper. I'm going to have to look it up for when I demo this, but basically you would take like a flower and you would put it on top of this blue paper and you would put it in this, or you put it on top of white paper and you went out in the sun, and then the sun would turn all of the paper blue except where the flower was blocking. Does that sound familiar? So you get something kind of like this. Anyway, it's a really cool paper. But again, you don't have to use the blues. This is Gray Granite. This is by Jan McClure. And she used the wreath here that's in this. So this is a really robust stamp set with a lot of, or die set with a lot of possibilities in it. Okay. So there are our Sun Prints cards. All right. Oh, my cards are like stacking up over here. Okay. We have the Wisteria Wishes stamp next, which is gorgeous. And this card is by Joan Loomis. And I adore the way she did this. She has sort of a side open here. So cutting out a piece of the card and then having the layer on the inside that's covered up by this front piece, just fun. And then this dies and so forth here. So a really pretty way to stamp this. And then she's got this watercolor background. So absolutely gorgeous card. Okay, with the butterflies and everything. I love it. All right, then we have cards for the Hues of Happiness stamp set and bundle. So here's the other one. In case that Sun Prints paper didn't do it for you, here are the Hues of Happiness papers. There are really, really vibrant colors, really pretty tones here on the front with the florals, and these match the dies in the set, and then these sort of canvas wash backgrounds. I don't know, gesso or whatever I'm not a painting artist. So that pretty canvas work there where you have the oil on there or whatever it is. I can appreciate it even if I don't know the technique. So, all right. So there is the pretty paper for that. And then of course, like I said, with the LovenStamps cards, you get 6 card bases to go with your coordinating cardstock, okay? Or coordinating designer series paper. All right, you guys ready to see some cards with this? It's beautiful. Oh yeah, Julie remembers the photosensitive paper. Yep. Is that what it was called? Photosensitive paper? Anyway, so here, oh, I had another card to share. Well, okay, I'll go backwards one. So here is my first card by Julie Salva with this designer series paper. So see, you can use just a little 2x4 piece of this paper. So each one of these from this piece could be 4 separate cards if you go with Julie's card idea here. And I love the postage stamp punch there. It makes that a really quick and easily reproducible card using the fonts that perfectly, so these greetings have a font that perfectly match these florals, okay? Here is an example by Karen Titus of the designer series paper. So this flower is not stamped. This flower is, oh, I just looked up and I saw everybody's little like thumbs up going. So fun. I like seeing the reactions. So this floral paper is die cut with the dies and then coordinate here with a card. So pretty card by Karen. Oh, here are those, what do they say those things are called? Glossy Dots assortments that are right there. So, oh, with the designer series paper, in addition to the papers, the 12 papers, you can also choose to get a half assortment of my 9 favorite new embellishments. So it's a great way to add embellishments to your stamping supplies without having to buy them all. So make sure you check that on there. All right, here is a card by Jody Reinert. And instead of doing the stamp or the paper here, she went ahead and stamped and colored with Stampin' Blends markers. And so you can see how pretty these are. But she used the color inspiration from the paper, which, I mean, why not, right? Designed by Stampin' Artists, it's gonna be beautiful. And then finally, I have a card by Marnie Stahl, the demonstrator in my group. And I love this card that Marnie did because I love the way she repeated colors. So we all know that this strip of designer series paper has a navy that matches the Night of Navy cardstock. It has a yellow that matches the Daffodil Delight cardstock. It's just ideal. It's perfect the way the colors come together and just really reinforce each other. So it's one of the great things about working with Stampin' Up colors. Okay, so we have to back up because I missed the last one. It was this one right here. It's on the same page. So it's this card here, and this is by Leanne Gruff. And this block stamping technique will definitely be coming to a video near you soon. So I did a LovenStamps team meeting this morning online, and we talked about how that's done and stuff. But it's a really pretty way to use these pieces here. So we'll talk about that. All right, and then we come to our Uniquely Artistic stamp here. This card is by Sandy Rule, and I love the way she used this tag and then stamped her own background paper in the background. So this is a 2-step stamp set, but you don't have to use both of it. You can use just the lines like she did. You can use just some splotchies in the background the way she used. And then finally, we are back to the back of our card, and I have some card samples to show you and some samples to show you and a quick demonstration. So I have this card, which is by Natalie Travis. And Natalie used that paper that I showed you at the beginning, right? Oh, perhaps I should put it on the screen. The Design and Daydream paper. Now, you can't order this paper with anything except Stampin' Rewards, okay? So you have to have Stampin' Rewards to be able to get this paper, which it's an amazing pack of paper. It's 48 sheets. And it's $18. So it's, is it 48 sheets? Like, see, 12 sheets, 2 each of double-sided designs. What? I don't think that's right. I think it's 48 sheets. 24 sheets? 12 sheets. It's 24 sheets because it's 12 sheets of paper in a normal packet and 2 each of the double-sided design. So it's 24 pieces of paper. Sorry, I mean, confusing. So it's just getting late, right? Is it time for bed yet? Anyway, the designer series paper here is really pretty and gorgeous patterns, and you'll be seeing more of it from me. And so as you're thinking about, having maybe a larger order and using up some of your Stampin' Rewards, that paper is $30 worth of paper. It's $18 because it's sort of a host and Stampin' Rewards exclusive. So definitely think about that. The stamp set here is Begin with a Dream, which is that one down there. And then here's another Begin with a Dream. This is by Debbie Garthwaite, and she used that globe there. But either way, kindness changes the world one heart at a time. So speaking of sharing kindness, we're going to make a Sit, Stay, Relax card here as our final thing. Let's see. I'm trying to remember if I covered everything I wanted to cover. We've been busy. Oh, sneak peek. There's our Sit, Stay, Relax piece. So here is the Sit, Stay, Relax stamp set. Again, it's available at sort of that Stampin' Rewards exclusive pricing. So if the stamp set was in the regular catalog, it would be a $22 stamp set because of like how big it is, how many pieces. But it's only $13 as a Stampin' Rewards item. So not only are you getting it with free money, but you're also getting it at a really nice price. So let's see. Phyllis said the Hughes paper made her literally gasp. I know. Okay, you're gonna gasp again. Isn't it it's just delightful. It makes me smile. It's just hard to go wrong on. Okay, so you could just get whole packages of it, but you could also sign up for the share tonight. So, all right, so Sit, Stay, Relax. I have a set of pieces here ready, and I'm gonna show you how this card comes together really quickly. Now, a note to, well, it's note to myself, but also note to you guys. This is a thick card base using basic white thick cardstock. And when you use thick cardstock, you want to make sure you score the center line, not just fold it because you don't want it to crack, okay? So I'm gonna get my cutting blade out of the way, and then, oops, I have like little scraps stuck in there. Let's get that out. Then I'm just going to take my scoring blade and run that across there with my trimmer, and now I can safely fold my card base in half without it cracking. All right, now I love to do kind of strippy technique kinds of cards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sort of pop those on there, and then we're going to add a cross piece here. So I could either add the stripes or the florals, whichever way. And then we're not going to worry about the fact that those strips are all different length yet. Okay. Actually, I need that, so I can't do that. What color shall we make our little sofa? There are two little kitties lying on these, and then one little puppy lying on the striped sofa. Every time I see this striped sofa, it makes me think, I don't know if you're a Harry Potter fan, but it makes me think of when like the professor is hiding, he disguises himself as like a striped chair because of his striped, anyway. Okay, if you know what I'm talking about, you do, and if you don't, you aren't gonna get it anyway because my description was terrible. So let's go ahead and ink this baby up. I'm going to ink it in Tahitian Tide here and go ahead and stamp. And then we're going to go ahead and cut out our little critter. Now, I know some people are thinking, I don't like fussy cutting. It's really not hard, and it doesn't take very long. So a couple tips for you. If you've not watched my fussy cutting video, you'll notice that my right hand, which is the one holding the scissors, is not going to move left and right or anything like that. It's staying exactly in place. The only thing that it's doing is compressing the scissors to cut, okay? My other hand, my free hand, my left hand, is doing all of the work of twisting and turning the cardstock so that I can just keep cutting in one long, straight, continuous line. And I promise, if you're thinking, I know the people who always say, I'm not good at this, just try it. Practice in front of the TV, do a bunch of them, and you will see that it gets really much easier each time. So that is going to fit here. We can take a strip of our cardstock here and do a little bit of greeting with it. So let's see, I think our greeting is going to be, I'm like searching here among my mess. Oh my gosh, if you guys could see this place now. Okay, there it is. for my ink. Oh, there, duh. When in doubt, look right in front of you. And we're gonna go ahead and do just sitting here thinking of you as our greeting. And it's gonna go here kind of on the left side. There we go. And then having that paper trimmer handy is always a good thing. So I'm gonna pop this back on here, and this time I'm gonna use my cutting blade and do a little trimming there. So I have our little strip there ready to go. All right, so it's gonna tuck here under our chair, just like that. All right, and now the stamp set doesn't have a lot of other small images, right? But it does have all these little words in it, and these words can make great images too. So let's go ahead and take these two out, and I am going to do this one. I'm going to just stamp missing you a few times on here, kind of randomly cutting them off top and bottom. When you think you need one more, stop. Don't do it. And then I'm going to grab our Parakeet Party, because I haven't used it yet. And I'm going to stamp Parakeet Party words. We're going to do wishing you were here. Okay. And most of my paper is going to get covered up, so I'm not going to worry too much about the middle part. Now, I can go ahead and pop these back on here. Let's go ahead and trim them down a little bit. And let's see, I think green at the bottom, and then blue at the top. Needs to be a little shorter. So hopefully we got it stamped so that some of those words are showing at the edges here. And then we can pop this on here like that. And then we need one more little accent. Remember, I always don't want my chair, my cup, whatever the image is, to be just floating there. So I'm gonna bring in this little strip of the glimmer paper here from the In Color glimmer paper. So here's what that looks like. It's all ombre In Color glimmer paper, so it goes from light to dark. And I'm gonna pop this on just underneath here, like so. And you see how that just gives our chair just a little bit more like foundation. It's not quite floating so much. And when everything is glued down, ta-da, and change some paper colors out, then there is our finished little sit stay card, okay? So I hope you guys like that one. All right, well that brings us to the finish of our stamping. Holy cow, we covered a lot of cards. I think 40 something cards today in our last little video here. So a couple things that you want to remember. In the video description, there are links for the In Color starter kit. So if you really like the idea of getting my new favorite Starry Sky and the other 4 In Color ink pads for free, you can get them as part of the In Color starter kit, link in the video description. You basically are gonna pick out $125 of whatever product you want from the whole catalog. Stampin Rewards excluded, so you can't get these things as part of your starter kit. But the rest of it you can. And you could even pick stuff from the mini catalog. This is still available, all these things. So $125 of whatever you want. You are going to go to my website and click join now. And then you're going to put your starter kit order in with all those things. You can't go over 125. You can be right at 125 or less. And then you're going to pay $99. So you're going to get that $125. You're going to get a free paper pumpkin kit. You're going to get the In Color ink pads, cardstock, designer paper, some grid paper. It's like $210 worth of things for your $99, and shipping is free. So there is no better way to get the In Color ink pads. So, and whether you are interested in building a business and earning a trip for to the Baltic cruise or Baltic Sea, or you're interested in purchasing for yourself at a discount, they're all good options and opportunities that you have as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I encourage you to give it a shot. And really, ordering for yourself at a discount is a-okay. So I am happy to help you get whatever you want out of being a demonstrator, whatever that might be, whether it's purchasing, all of your wish list from this catalog at a discount, whether it's having a few events here or there and sharing your stamping with friends, maybe getting some of your own wish list covered by the parties you're hosting or whatnot. Lots of different possibilities. So, and then today is the last night to request a designer series paper share of my LovenStamps Variety 2 of the 12 packages that you get so 84 pieces of designer series paper and the card bases to match. So link in the video description for that also. All right, guys. And yes, Tanya just said she'll be watching tomorrow. I will see you guys in it's 8 a.m. I will see you in 13 and a half hours for another project because it will be time for Maker Mornings with Meg tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So hope you guys get some good rest between now and then. And Kathy, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're welcome, Nancy. So hope you get some good rest between now and then, which is like a laugh, right? Because I know that you're going to go sit down with your catalog and go through it again because of all the things that we just talked about. You're like, oh, I hadn't really noticed that before. At least that's what I do when I go to stuff like this. So, yes. Anyway. All right. Oh, yay. Deborah's having fun. And you're welcome, Shirley and Julie and everybody. It was fun to see you guys tonight. It's kind of fun to tune on at a different time. So, you're welcome, Phyllis. And I will be back tomorrow morning with Maker Mornings with Meg. And like I said, we're doing a pop-up box card. It'll be a fun one. I guarantee it. So happy stamping, guys, and I'll see you in the morning.